So, okay. So good morning. Welcome to Hurricane Preparedness for Your Business. I am Toby Berger. I am the founder of CEO Business Academy, and I help women entrepreneurs pay themselves consistently and well through their business. So I'm excited to be here, and I have two other guest speakers with me this morning. I have Asana Gampine and Alexia Martin, who you're going to meet here shortly. But so let's get this party started. I do have notes because I tend to ramble and squirrel, so this definitely keeps me on track. So, how many of you have ever played Jenga? Raise your hands. Right? Or say I, or put something in the chat. I think I could see the chat here. Let's see. Yeah, feel free to come off mute at any time or give a thumbs up, those kind of things. Okay, so if you already know how to play Jenga, then my presentation is over. So thank you and good night. No, just kidding. So my portion of the presentation is business continuity. Oh, so boring, right? Nobody wants to hear business continuity. Nobody wants to hear business planning. Nobody wants to hear, but I make it fun, right? So I have really never played Jenga in my life until like last night when the Jenga game that I ordered on Amazon at 11:30 on Tuesday night arrived yesterday. So how exciting, right? So when we talk about business continuity, hurricane planning, it's exactly like playing Jenga, right? You have all sorts of blocks, and I know that people on Zoom can't see that, and thanks to Amazon and not reading the description, the Jenga game was much smaller than I ever anticipated. I asked for giant Jenga, but I think I got like medium-sized Jenga. So I will show this to the people on Zoom. So this says customer expectations. So I made some things on, wrote some words on the Jenga clips here on the boards. You know, something like employees, power, internet, insurance, business, operations, all sorts of different things. So I want to tell you a story. I want to engage your visualization learning. And years ago, who was here for Hurricane Irma? We all were here for Hurricane Irma, right? So that was what? I want to say 2017, I believe, because that's when I got a new roof. Yes. Which is now approaching 10 years old. So I worked with a company, and they were new in the industry that they were in, which was home watch. When you think about home watch businesses in Hurricane Alley, in hurricane time, you're like, you better be prepared. You better have your plans all in place. You better know exactly who's doing what, where they are, and what's going on. So before we get the news, right, that Hurricane Irma is coming, it's like 2 weeks out. People go crazy for bread and water, gas, right? There's nothing to be had for like 2 weeks. And people are evacuating. The people are evacuating. So what's the first thing that goes away when people evacuate for a hurricane? Employees, right? Employees evacuate. So we're going to remove the employees block, because your employees have every right to evacuate to protect them and their family.
Absolutely.
They do not owe you anything. And if you don't have employees, that could be you as the business owner to evacuate, because guess what? You have every right to evacuate to keep your family safe, right? Businesses can be rebuilt, families cannot. And so we remove the employees from being evacuated. So our business is still standing. This is our business, right? It's still standing. And then we move into, I'm going to use this. This is just so much easier. Hello.
Hi.
So now the storm hits, right? So what is like one of the first things that goes out when the storm hits?
Electricity.
Electricity, that's right. So we're going to remove our power block. Let's hope our business does not collapse when we remove our power block. Ooh, okay. A slight tilt in what's happening here. But so far,
I would have already collapsed by now, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, what?
With the power going out in my house, I would have already
You already collapsed, yes. I made my husband, because we had no power in Lehigh for 2 weeks, at Irma, and I made him, the power came on, and then we went down to my mom's in Golden Gate Estates and gave her the rest of our water and our generator and drained all of our tubs because we're on septic and well. And then by the time we came back 6 hours later, we had no power again. And I said, and I just stood in the living room and I cried and I said, you have to take me to Tampa. And I found a hotel room and he took me to Tampa. So we stayed there because I wasn't dealing with no AC anymore after dealing it for 2 weeks. So, okay, so when the power goes out, what else goes out in your business? Internet, perfect. So now we're gonna remove the internet. Oh gosh, this is in a tricky spot. Okay, so we're gonna remove the internet. Ooh, it's wobbly. All right, so we're gonna remove the internet. With internet, now with VoIP, what are we missing now? What are we losing? What else goes down after the storm passes?
Phone lines? Phone lines,
internet, cell towers, both, right?
Right.
Listen, if you are on a VoIP system for your phones, which a lot of people are nowadays, that whole old-fashioned landline where you plug it into the phone cord into those are gone, right? People are using the internet for their phones. And data, cell towers, they come down too, right? So now we're gonna lose our phones. Oh, this isn't good. This is where
Is it happening?
Should we do
Are we
it?
tumbling?
Is it tumbling yet? Okay, so we lose our phones, right? So back to the home watch company, okay? So they have several home watch operators, right? Reporters that go to the homes. They, some of their employees evacuated, some of them stayed, really left only 2 people. Most of them lived in Lee County. This is a Collier County business. The 2 owners are Collier County residents, the only 2 Collier County residences, and all of their home watches are in Collier County, okay? So now what happens after the hurricane? We have no internet, we have no power, we have no phones. What happened after Ian, I'm sorry. What happened after Irma exponentially? Roads, trees down, right? Because this was a wind storm and it hit inland. I think it came through Marco, up the inland interior through Golden Gate Estates, Immokalee, Lehigh, where I live, and out, I think it hit Charlotte on its way out, Alexia, right? Just a little bit, right? This was an inland storm where a lot of people that I know that lived in the Cape and on the Gulf Coast moved inland to come. Am I approaching my 2 minutes? Okay, perfect. We're gonna move on. So anyway, they couldn't drive anywhere. So now you have customers up north because they're your clients. They're trying to call you, they're not getting you, but guess who they're getting? They're getting the home watch reporters. Oh, look, it's working now. They're getting the home watch reporters that have been evacuated into safe zones who have cell phone service and saying, what's going on with my house? What do you mean you evacuated? I hired you to be there immediately after the storm. Why are you not there? All this, right? And the owner of the company is like, we ain't doing this. Employees first, right? Their safety and wellness is important. We're not getting there until it's safe for us and our employees are back and until they are done. It could take a week before we get to someone's house. What problem is that? What problem are you seeing with that? Where customers are expecting one, the business owner is telling you we're not doing it. What problem do you see here?
Communication gap.
Communication gap, right? Customer expectations. So guess what? Before we get to customer expectations, the business owners were able to finally hit the roads in a day or 2. But here's the other thing. They utilize a URL-based, web-based software, right? So which has alarm codes, addresses, phone numbers, and name of people who they need to communicate with of the homeowners. Guess what they can't access?
The internet.
Internet. They can't get to it on their phones because the data's not strong enough, right? It's strong enough to maybe send a text, right? So we have communications. So that is customer information, right? We get rid of that, and we are down to a single thing here. Then we remove customer expectations, right? Customer expectations. Because everybody is not on the same page, okay? So what does our business look like now? It's a little wobbly, right? And so what I want you to think about for your business is, and we'll send you, I will have to email you the handout that we're gonna give out here in person. But what I want you to think about is what blocks are, when you don't have them, when you don't have these, what is that final block that's going to take down your business, okay, if you are not properly prepared? And that is having a plan in place to have backup systems for some of these. Some of these you can have backups, but you have alternatives, right? And so what happens now that we've removed all this? We have angry customers, we have frustrated owners, we have employees that are like, hey man, I have to take care of my family, right? I'm not in town, I'm in Georgia. And we have customers that are scrambling to find out what happened to their homes here in Naples. What happens to your business? What else do you lose? What's the last thing you lose?
Revenue? Your income.
Right? Cash flow, right? Your revenue, your cash flow. So where is cash flow? Let's hope it's not somewhere, okay. So cash flow, all right,
It's happening.
it's happening?
Maybe.
It's starting to tumble, okay. There's one more block that I want to remove. What is the one last thing that most Floridians have? I've been here 26 years and I will tell you I do have this. After Ian, I don't have it anymore. Begins with a C. Complacency when it comes to heeding warnings and being prepared for hurricanes, right? Ian taught us that message. They talk about storm, flooding all the time. Woohoo, right? So now we're going to remove the complacency, which I have a little mark on, right? Oh man, so now what happens, right? We tumbled, okay? So I want you to think about all of these things that go into making sure that you are resilient enough to, your business will tumble. It will, it could, okay? Everything that you do in its place to prepare is not a perfect plan, but having a plan is better than having no plan. And with that, I'm going to bring up Asana, who's going to do her presentation on communication. So I thank you very much for your time with me, and I'll give the mic over to Asana. Okay, perfect, thank you. And this will be her presentation, which you can have that. It's just a little lapel clip you can put on. You are welcome, and
So do they have any questions in the chat that you want
are there any questions? Let's see. Did anybody have any questions? No, we're good so far? Okay, very good. So, there is one. Oh, looked at the Jenga visual. Great stuff. Thank you, Chase. Thanks, Chase. All right, so now I'm going to why don't you come into the camera so I can follow you, pick you up, and then come stand with me. Come stand in front of me. Okay, there you go. Now move. Now look at see the camera? Now I want you to move. Okay.
It's not moving.
Is it following you?
No.
Go ahead. No? Okay,
It's
good.
not.
All right. Then we will just do this. We will move it.
Okay.
Make sure that we can see the screen
Is next.
in the bottom corner. Okay.
Thank you.
And we will also send this to you as well.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You're all set.
Thank you, everybody, for being here for this workshop. And Toby, thank you so much for inviting me to take part in this important workshop. This way?
in front of them? Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. All right. If I ever move out of focus, just let me know so that I can come back, because probably will be wandering around. All right. So Toby has done a great job at showing us, the importance of planning and another important piece, the complacency, how that can get all your business crumbling down and all of that. So my presentation today is going to focus on communication. So when Toby asked for raise of hand for Irma, it looks like everybody has been here through hurricanes. Is there anybody here who hasn't been through a hurricane? Okay. So, all right. So we've all been here through hurricanes, at least once. So imagine this. It's forecast that hurricane is going to hit Florida tomorrow. And you have your house protected, all your properties protected, and you move your family to a safe place, and your office is closed, employees are gone, then your phone rings. Customers need you. As Toby was saying, this home watch person evacuated, customers are calling, why aren't you there, right? So the phone is coming. So, and to borrow some of Toby's expression, the worst time to think about, to discover that your communication system is broken is when you are in line waiting for gas or ice and trying to make that decision. That's the worst possible moment. And that's what I call don't dig your well in a crisis. That's what that means. And, oops, went too far. So, while everything is going on, so your customer, you have your problem. The customer also has their problem. So, a lot of things are going into their head and they are asking these questions. Are you open? Did you get my message? Are you coming? Am I on the schedule, right? And should I call someone else? So every business owner should be worried when this question is happening. Should I be calling somebody else, right? So that means trust is eroding already. And so that's what the systems we design are designed to solve. So, what customers are buying really when they are buying your services is buying certainty. So these questions are what customers are constantly asking. Are you open? So during the storm, or after the storm, are you still operating? When will you respond? And how do I get help? So all these questions are going to be in your customer's mind as they wrestle with their own situation. So what so when Toby was talking about the importance of planning, so the hurricane actually doesn't create chaos. It exposes the chaos that were there because of the lack of proper planning. So if your communication system is weak to start with, that is, calls, texts, and web inquiries go often unanswered, and customers are going to move on. So if your process doesn't have a follow-up system, so your leads are going to go cold, and yes.
Good question. So, including making sure you have these things in place, should they also be like updating their Google information about their businesses hours or something like that?
Yes.
That goes part of it. Okay, maybe I'm ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
You're not ahead of yourself. So that's a good question.
Okay.
Yes. So that's and that goes back to expectation that Toby was talking about. So having in your Google profile
Right.
about your updated hours and what to expect is very important for customers to know.
Yeah.
And we're going to hit on some of that here later on. Yes. So do you have a backup plan? If there are no backup plans in your business right now, hurricane is going to make it worse. So, and so your best customers are anxious. So the first business to communicate wins their loyalty. So if you want to retain your customers, communication is going to be very key. So these aren't really, so all these communication issues aren't storm problem. They just make more visible when storm hits. And the good news is they are all fixable. We can fix this with proper planning. So this is a picture of two businesses, one that had proper planning in place and one that didn't. And this is what can happen. So the one doesn't have system, the phone is ringing, there are no answers. Many calls are missed over several days. And leads goes to competitor. They are not answering their phone. So customers and staff get overwhelmed when they become, and then there is a surge, and then there are no system to support them. Those employees are going to get overwhelmed. And then naturally, if your customers are not happy, they cannot reach you, they are going to go leave bad Google reviews. And that also is going to tank your business. Now, picture the one that has communication system, an AI voice agent, for example, to answer call 24/7. AI doesn't sleep. So anytime, day, night, it's going to call. It never gets angry. It's always going to take the call, and it's always going to be professional, no matter no matter how the call goes. So an AI is going to capture the leads for you, and it's going to prioritize them, and it's going to also automatically schedule the appointment for you, and turn the follow-ups, and turn your pipeline into a sorted pipeline so that you know what's going on during your wholesale process. So feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions, and then I'm happy to answer them. So, and Toby,
Yes.
sorry, I forgot to ask about the time. Can you?
Oh yeah, I have set the timer here. Yeah, we're good.
Right. Okay,
You're
okay,
good.
wonderful.
Thank you.
All right. So this is the core framework. So these are 3 questions business owners should be asking themselves at any point in time. So before the storm, how will your customers reach you? During the storm, how will customers hear from you, right? And after the storm, how will you keep everyone informed? So, and after the storm, there is going to be a surge of inquiries. How are you going to handle that? Track every request, follow up on every lead, and let no one fall through the cracks. So these are questions every business owner should be asking themselves throughout. Okay. So, and these are the systems that can really help you weather the storm. And after the storm, prosper, increase your revenue. So it can start having a big impact on your revenue before the storm, and it can also help you come out of the storm stronger, and your employees happier. So voice agent.
I'm sorry, Asana.
Quick question, for those that may not know, can you tell us what a CRM is?
Okay, customer relationship management. It could be something as simple as a spreadsheet where you put information of your customers, their contact information, know how you can get in touch with them, and also make notes so that you know what's happening with every customer, and you can take it beyond spreadsheets into other software system.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So AI is really, when people think about AI these days, they think about ChatGPT. This is operational AI. So it's going to help your operation, and So text and email alerts. So this is important also. It's important for your customers to get alerts and text messages throughout to also help them know what's happening and what to do next. AI web assistant on your website. So you talked about updating Google profile. Yes, so you can have also a chatbot that that knows every situation during storm time, knows your schedule and everything, can answer questions, and your employees are not able to answer, the chatbot is there able to answer, right? And you can have that activated on Google profile also, the chat system. And voice storm script. So it's important to have a script to prepare, and then when the storm hits, so these will go to your customers, and the CRM ensures that you follow up with your customers so that nothing falls through the crack. So this can be AI enabled, it can be also not AI enabled. And review requests automation. So, so this is one important thing, especially during after the storm, and emotions are high and you do a good job. So these are where great reviews come from, and it's going to help after the storm. So now I am going to tell you more about the voice agent. So the voice agent, really now these days, they are really good. They can talk in natural voice, conversational voice, and they are able to qualify your leads and capture all their contact information in detail and book appointment. And then they can send instant follow-ups, text, so that no leads goes cold. And they keep running even when the team is physically not able. So whether during the storms, surge demands, or illness of employees, or all of that, so you're always covered when you have a voice agent. It manages customers' anxieties. So these AI systems are really intelligent these days. They can manage the emotion. They can tell, depending on the situation the person is dealing with, they're able to handle it really well.
Asana, I have a quick question. Maybe this is on the next slide, but we can turn this on and off as needed, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let's say, we have, so maybe I have an office manager, but she goes on vacation for a week, and it's just me, the landscaper, and my office manager, and if she's on vacation, I don't want to be bothered answering the phones, but she could do this. I know this is a little more business operational question, but
yes, that's a great question. That's a great question. And actually, so my customers, I have, for example, a home remodeler. So when he's on site visit and everything, so he has to, for any time he cannot answer his phone, he dial #72 or something like for Verizon, something like that, and then so that means after that time the AI takes over and answers, and when he calls, he just cancels the forwarding, and then AI stops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so every AI never sleeps. That's the good thing. It never gets sick. So if your employee is sick, so the AI is there to help. So, and it keeps running.
It does stop working.
Yeah. So this is, for example, a scenario for a workflow for the voice agent. So your call comes in, so it's gonna respond, and then it's gonna capture every information you tell it to capture. So here we said name, but it can capture more. So if there are more things that need to be captured so that you can make good decision, it's gonna capture more. And it's going to update your CRM, whether it's your spreadsheet or it's an application for customer relationship management, it's gonna update that, and then follow up so that no leads fall through the crack. So that's the important thing. So you're no longer going to lose leads. A lot of people are afraid to answer their phone because there are lots of spam these days. And when AI answers, it knows if it's a spam, if it's a lead, and then it deals with it appropriately. So now, before the storm, so this is what's the type of planning you can think about. Reach customer before they start wondering. Automated text, beat mass confusion every time. So, and adjusting your voice agent for the storm mode. So you can have your voice agent for any situation. So during storm, it has to be in the storm mode. And in your CRM, flag high priority customers so that you take care of the most important emergencies and then working your way down. And customers do not expect perfection. Oops.
Yeah, fine.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway.
So customers do not expect perfection. They know things are going. They know things can take time to resolve. So you just need to set the expectation right, and then they will be fine before and after the storm. All right. So the first 72 hours after the storm. So when you have all kinds of things happening, a lot of a host of communication happening. So that's where there is a lot of spike in everything, and so it matters if you have good systems in place. So
I have one question. So when this is automated and say, this is in action, it's happening already, how does the business owner get notified that these things are happening in their AI? Like, are they getting notified, hey, you're getting several calls, or are emails automated into their email system? Is it? Okay, awesome, good,
yes,
okay.
they are notified.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
the business owner is in the loop
Gotcha,
all the time.
okay, perfect.
So and then they get everything prioritized so that they don't have to dig through voicemails
That
and
makes
all of
sense.
these things. Everything, it saves them extreme amount of time. Yeah. So all right. So the simple first step to take is find a communication gap. So map your process and see what is the most important gap you want to solve first, and then move from there. And so we provide an assessment to see what would be best for your situation. And so these are the questions that every business owner need to ask to ensure that the customer has a good experience. And preparedness is not defensive, it's your competitive advantage. You are going to compete well if you are well prepared. And so thank you for your attention. And I am going to go.
Leave that slide up. No, leave that, go back to your thank you slide, your contact information.
Okay.
Leave that up.
All right.
I have a question, and it just left my brain. But while I'm thinking of it, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and your expertise?
Okay. My expertise is taking manual processes that take a lot of time and turn them into just minutes or hours of work. And my passion started when I started my journey in corporate world, and I was given a pile of things to do, and usually it takes 2 people 2 days to do it. And I sat down and I mapped everything and I automated, and it could be done now in 1 hour instead of 2 days, 2 people. So, and I got hooked. So that began my passion. And when AI came along, so I incorporated AI into my business. So so all the things that businesses don't like to do that takes time or also undermine their business, like they are not able to follow up properly. So these can be automated so that no customer goes ignored. So whether they are coming from the website, whether they are coming through the phone, whether they are coming through SMS, so everything converge, and you don't need to talk to someone. Time is up?
No, 1 minute.
1 minute. All right. Yeah. So my joy is taking all the headaches because of manual processes and give time back so that humans do what humans do best. Right? So connecting with people and then taking care of customers' anxieties. All right. So
I have one last, I remembered my question.
Uh-huh.
Where does the AI bot live? So if we think about, in my presentation and yours, and we think about when the storm takes down the internet, the power, how does AI work? I mean, where is that cloud? Is it over Florida? I mean, like, where does that live so that I know I have the assurance that no matter what happens here physically, this is still going to be operational?
Yeah. So the platforms that house AIs, they have redundant systems. They have different states, different countries. So if one server somewhere is not working, it routes to another server. So it ensures that things stay and they don't break down. So the AI is in the cloud somewhere and it's hooking up to different servers around the country or around the world.
Right.
So yeah, you're protected.
So it's good. So for people who may not have the experience, I'm trying to talk loud so that I pick up on the mic for Zoom. So people who may not have experience in tech or AI, they're not thinking that they're relying on their own cell data to keep the AI running, that this is all cloud-based, this is international, this is global, it's run globally, and this is where it goes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And when we set up, so you don't have to think about, we handle everything. So you just go do your business, keep peace of mind. So we handle everything.
That is awesome.
Awesome,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
thank
so-
you. All right, so hey, I'm back. All right, so now we're gonna bring up Alexia Martin from Whitco Insurance. She is not just from Whitco, she is Whitco Insurance. It is Alexia Martin, it is the Whitco agency, Whitco Insurance. She can only do it best herself because heck, it's her business, so I'll let you do it.
All right, you can see if I can find it.
Yeah, I can put her, yeah, stop sharing, but I can put her too.
Let's see if it will hold on to here.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Thumbs up on Zoom if you can
Thumbs up
hear.
on Zoom if you can hear me? All
Yep,
right.
thumbs up. All right,
Coming
perfect.
over a head cold, getting over it, so. Yes, this is Toby said, my name is Alexia Martin, and I'm the actual owner for Whitco Insurance and commercial agent. I have 2 offices here in Punta Gorda and also in Venice. And we have 14 offices of Whitco's throughout the state of Florida. I started my career at State Farm, and what best place to start it with all the training and expertise. And then I've just kind of went right into the independent side, and I gotta tell you, I never wanted a career in insurance. Insurance found me. And I always say that nobody ever wants insurance, but I'll tell you, there's such amazing college students out there. I've got an intern right now at FSU that is looking at insurance because she says, we think that insurance is the bomb. And I was like, wow. Okay, this is coming from a 21-year-old. And she said, there's probably like 300 or 400 people that is in the FSU School of Risk Management and Insurance. She says, because we understand that AI is not going to take the trust in the relationship in some aspects of it. And she said, you know, it's interesting. We want to protect our assets. And I got to tell you, when a barreling hurricane is coming down towards you, that's not the time that you want to start learning your insurance policy. So, and that always seems to happen. Mm-hmm. So in 2017, when Toby said about Irma, we got a crash course. I think prior to that, Punta Gorda, I wasn't in insurance at the time, but what was dead on was in 2004 was Hurricane Charlie. And we can't forget, I was in Naples at the time, we cannot forget what was happening. Everybody assumed that it was going to Tampa. Storm's going to Tampa, all right? And what did it decide to do like most hurricanes? It decided to have a mind of its own and go straight up towards Punta Gorda and Lee County, and there just wasn't a time to prepare. And so, unfortunately, a lot of businesses were caught off guard, especially in Punta Gorda, because they did not know. They only had a couple of hours before it actually hit. So you can imagine those businesses had less time to prepare because they were all just getting into their businesses ready to go when that announcement got made that, hey, by the way, you're going to be having a hurricane in the next couple of hours. Prepare and get out of there. So fast forward to 2017. 2017 was unique because the whole state of Florida was on alert. And I can tell you, I was sitting in my office. Actually, it was Labor Day weekend. I was at Disney, having a great time. That Saturday, I felt a knot in my stomach. Didn't think that we would need to start preparing for Hurricane Irma, and had to quickly evacuate, come back home to prepare my insurance agency for the big storm that everybody was afraid of. 400 miles long. It's going to tear a path through the state of Florida. The fear was real. The businesses, I'll tell you, that Tuesday morning, before I even hit, I got there Tuesday morning at 6:30 in the morning. and the phones had already been ringing at midnight. I need my insurance policies. I need my insurance. I need you to tell me what's covered. Folks, I don't have time to tell you what's covered. I got a business to get other people also ready for this storm. And so during those lessons for us in Charlotte County, for the rest of the state of Florida, it was a different story. But in Charlotte County, it was a wake-up call for so many businesses that didn't realize what is spoilage coverage, what is business income and extra expense. What is all of these coverages that we talk about, making sure your contents are covered? What's wind versus X-wind on your policy for a business? So there was a lot of lessons learned, and we answered a lot of questions. However, the big storm for us, and as many of you know, was Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian, really, I have to tell you that my office was answering those calls every 30 seconds, and I wish I had an AI system. But it was powerful, and those scenarios that came out of that storm was heartbreaking. Not just on the personal line side, but also on that commercial line side. So a couple of scenarios today that I want to go over when it comes to coverages that you are going to want to really make sure that you hone in on. Is number one, when you pull out your policy, you got to take a look at your building value. Is it at the current value? And I will tell you, a lot of businesses after Hurricane Ian did not look at their replacement cost calculations. And remember, in 2020, we had COVID. We also had inflation, massive inflation. So what had happened was a lot of people that had sustained building damage was not aware they didn't have enough insurance coverage to not only just rebuild back, but they had a thing called co-insurance, which they were not aware of. Co-insurance is a little penalty for not keeping your insurance up to at least 80% or 90% or 100%, depending on what your contract is. So that is something that not just your deductible, but you've got a penalty, and that penalty becomes thousands and thousands of dollars. I had one particular client that was underinsured. He only wanted to carry just the enough insurance that was on the bank loan. He should have had $500,000. He wanted to carry $350,000. He was adamant, that's all my loan I need, that's all the bank cares about. I said, well, I don't think that you should be doing this. However, this is your business, this is your decision. I have documented what I can, and I hope that I wish you well. I will tell you, 5 months later, Ian hit. He sustained $50,000 worth of damage to his building. $50,000, what was it? The roof. I want you to know that his claim that he got paid out on his insurance policy after the deductible and after the most important co-insurance penalty for not carrying enough insurance, he got paid $7,643.
Oh my.
Now, he was pissed at me. And I said, remember when we talked about co-insurance? And here's your formulation to where we get this. He said, oh my gosh. You're right, we had this conversation, and I ignored you because I never thought it would happen. Fast forward to not just that particular owner. Let's talk about the owner that had the day spa. The day spa that we all just love to go to. The day spa who we had conversations about her contents. She had them all covered. All of her day spa equipment, everything was covered. However, she forgot one thing, because it would never happen to her and she didn't want to pay the extra money for it. Spoilage coverage. She had just planned for that Saturday to have a Botox party. She spent $40,000 of Botox.
Oh my God.
She brought it in and put it into her refrigerators, and as she was running around preparing for the storm of Ian, she forgot about the Botox in the refrigerators. And what happened? The power went out. No. The Botox only has a very short life. So unfortunately, that was one planning opportunity that we had the conversation about for spoilage, and she said, I never carry enough product. You probably don't carry enough product today, but let's talk about the product in 6 months ago, because business owners have a short mind. They think about what's in front of them now, not what's happening later. Or what the stock value is, or this is their inventory or stock today, in the summer months, which it's slow, but they don't think about it when it's in season. Yes, ma'am.
And actually, I could see if you can talk about, because I learned this during Ian.
Yep.
That was my first hurricane, and I left. But I left my house. Like, I'm not fighting for the house. But I learned that the insurance stops the time where you can change or adjust your
Yes, it
policy
does.
way before we even know
Yeah.
that this is like it's mass media.
Yeah.
And so I try to add something to it just to make sure. And they were like, no, we already have a freeze on your area.
Yeah, and it's endorsements. So you can't endorse policies when you're in the cone. Now, I hear this all the time. Well, when there's a hurricane named, no, we still write, we still endorse, we still do everything you need to do. But when that cone is locked in to our area, that's when it ceases to endorse policies and buy insurances. And so it's important to look at that policy and start months in advance scheduling that review, because honestly, I can't tell you, I insure a lot of businesses in the state of Florida. They don't do reviews. I ask them for a review, I don't need a review. Well, you're missing out on credits. You're missing opportunities that maybe this coverage has shifted in your business for a while and you don't realize it yet. Maybe what you needed back then is not what you need. Maybe you had 20 employees, now you're down to 5 employees, and that coverage will shift. So it's important to review your insurance at least annually or every 2 years, for sure, hands down. Now, we got the spoilage issue, right? You got the inventory issues. So one of the big things that was on the Jenga blocks that I just loved, Toby, it was fantastic.
Thank you.
One of the Jenga blocks that she talked about was internet, and she talked about electricity. Well, spoilage is that as well. But what about the CPA firm during Ian that could not continue their business? Was that not a business interruption coverage? Mm-hmm. That was a business income. So on business income side of it is several things. And insurance, I'm just streamlining this stuff in a very short period. I gotta tell you, there's a lot. I could teach an entire couple of hours of classes on this. But when you're talking about the spoilage, one of the big things is that when you're a CPA, an insurance office, a medical office, doesn't matter. Your business interruption coverage can also cover for your loss of internet, power, and that's one of the things that I was able to get back from this CPA, because she was out of her office, because when she went home, what did she lose at home? Her internet, her power, at her office. So she couldn't like just go home and decide that she could just work from home. She lost the ability to be able to run her business. So that loss of income is super critical for a lot of industries, and a lot of industries don't realize how critical it is because they feel like I can just work from home. Where you can't take the restaurant home, right? You can't move the restaurant. Restaurants really need this coverage because you can't just take that extra expense and move it temporarily to another location. Another scenario that I had was a law office that she had a great server, she had a beautiful office. Ian destroyed that office. But she had business income and extra expense, so she was able to move temporarily to another location. But that temporary cost comes out of that business income. That's going to come out, moving that server. So you're going to think about how much money you need. Paying your employees after 72 hours, that's your waiting period. Paying your employees. But it's also moving your entire office or buying new furniture or whatever, but you're going to have to hook up everything, right? So that insurance is paying for all the hookups, the startups, the FPL to move everything. That is really important. But the biggest piece of it is that you are not going to get paid out enough on your business income if you don't do one critical thing. And so many business owners lost out on the ability to get enough of their hard-earned, they paid for this policy with business income because they didn't have their bookkeeping in order. Mm-hmm. So many businesses don't do that. They wait until tax time. Yeah. That's not the time to wait for tax time. When we sell you business income and extra expense, the insurance company is looking for you to go back 3 months to show and prove just how much income and expenses that you have. And when you do that, then they'll pay you out. If you can't do that, they're going to say, get back to me when we can, if ever, because some of them will just never dig themselves out of it.
You also have businesses that are trying to make sure they minimize their tax exposure.
They do, but that's not the time to do that, that's for sure. Good point, good point. So there are so many little intricate details when it comes to insurance policies. We've also got the sign coverages. I mean, we all go down this, 41, we see the signs. And after Irma, we used to cover wind on signs. If the sign got knocked down, we actually covered it, not a problem. Irma said, insurance company said, no more. We're not covering signs anymore, not for wind. Another
Question.
Yeah.
What is the specific coverage goal again for tracking income and expenses for 3 months?
Yeah, it's called business income and extra expense, but it can be a year policy. So it can either be a 3-month policy, a 6-month policy, or an annual policy, like annual. So you can get, when I say policy, I mean coverage-wise. Some companies used to do it for 2 years, but now you have to be careful when you're shopping your insurance. You really got to shop it with the right agent, because I've seen people come to my office and they only purchased back 3 months of business income and didn't realize they'd only purchased back only 3 months. Well, I can tell you right now, after Ian, there was businesses still out months. They were not able to get back into their offices.
Just repeat that name a little bit slower. Business.
Business income and extra expense.
Business income and extra expense coverage.
We call it business interruption, but business income is not going to be your expenses. Your business income is going to be your income and your expenses. Your extra expense, which everybody thinks is your expenses, is not. It's your temporary moving location. And it does not have a waiting period. It starts at day one.
One of the things that I saw businesses running into after some of the storms, especially late season hurricanes, if they're only doing a 3-month look back, that was during the summer when their revenue was lowest.
Yes, sir, that's true. And then unfortunately, I get that asked all the time when I'm selling the insurance, is that this is a look back at 3 months, and that 3 months could be during your summer months, which is really dead. And there's also different limits. So there's like 1/3 of your income, 1/4, and then obviously 1/12. And the one difference is it's not meant to pay for everything. It's meant to just keep you alive. And the more money you take, you're going to end up maxing out all of it, your insurance. The less amounts than that 1/3, it's going to just give you just enough. So you still have to have a savings account and make sure that you still are, minimizing, just utilizing that insurance. You've got to have a savings too on top of it.
And one last thing for the business income and expenses insurance would be that a lot of the state programs are based on the state original program especially. You have to document that you will have something coming in, whether it's a strong SBA recovery, but also if you can document that you have business interruption insurance, that can qualify you for those state programs. For the original program.
Exactly. So, I know I only got a couple minutes, and if I can go over just a little bit more, because I think there's one other thing that we never dealt with until Ian, and then Milton and Helene caused the same thing, and that's flooding.
Yes.
Okay. So I heard for years, when I sell insurance, I always talk about the flood risk, even if you're in an ex-flood zone. When we had Ian, unfortunately, Fort Myers Beach, we all know that, Sanibel, we saw the terribleness that came out there. Unfortunately, a lot of those businesses I heard prior to Hurricane Ian, I have insurance, I have FEMA, I've got Progressive for my business insurance. For flood, I'm covered. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not.
I mean, a little conversation.
I have flood insurance on my contents. I know, I understand, I heard you loud and clear. You got flood insurance on your contents. But your business isn't covered. Well, how so? Because what are you going to do about that business interruption? That flood policy through FEMA is a very basic policy. It only covers just your contents at actual cash value, not even replacement cost.
Oh.
However, we can get you a coverage through private flood insurance. You'd have to take a private flood. Or they used to years ago, certain flood insurance companies, not very many of them, not flood, but business. So if I could go to a business insurance company and say, can I buy back business interruption coverage if the cause of a peril is flood? Yes, they used to sell it, no problem. They don't sell it anymore. Now the only way that you can purchase this back is by buying a private flood insurance. During Helene and Milton, I had insured a day spa, different day spa. They had flood insurance. They had no business interruption because it was $2,000 or $3,000 more to get the private flood versus the FEMA flood. And the FEMA flood, they didn't even want flood insurance. So they did not have any business interruption coverage, and they wanted to be hitting the ground running very quickly. But it took them months before they were able to get their doors back open, and significant financial troubles because of this. However, I had a restaurant that listened to me, and I said, your business interruption is going to be super important. I understand this flood insurance policy is through private flood, and it's Lloyd's of London, and it's $3,800 more. You already had Hurricane Adelia flooded your restaurant. You may want to consider spending that $3,800. I know you got it. Trust me when I tell you, purchase the insurance. That was in January of 2024. Is the first time you took the policy out. We had Helene. I was sitting at a conference in Kansas City. He's texting me, Alexia, my camera just went out. The flooding is down. We were in trouble. But I know that I took my flood insurance through you, so I know that I'm okay. And I went to my room and I filed it and I called him and he said, what do I do? Because it's going to take me a long time. I said, don't you worry. Remember that flood insurance policy that you paid good money for? He said, yes. I said, you had business interruption coverage. You had a loss of business income. And it took him over a month. But you remember what happened 2 weeks later? Hurricane Milton came. Mm-hmm. So then he got reflooded. All of Punta Gorda got reflooded down. There was several businesses that never got to reopen because they were not in the financial ability to do it because they didn't take the time to actually buy the right insurance policy, have the conversation, or spend a little extra money. So I say to you, be very cautious. And I know I'm down to no more minutes, but I'm one more minute.
No, go ahead.
When we go back to the business income side of it, the one thing I have to tell you, if you take an X wind, which you want to save money because you can't afford the wind portion of it. If you take an X wind hurricane policy and you buy business income, remember, you just excluded wind as a cause of peril on your business income loss. All right? So we had several people that did that as well. They had purchased X wind policies to save money. Then they were closed and they found out that with an X-wind policy, your business income losses means that your wind was excluded, which means you have, if your cause of a peril was wind, you no longer have a business income policy that's going to pay you for being out for the next month or two. So just remember what you're purchasing. So my name is Alexia Martin. I own Whitco Insurance, commercial expertise. If you have any questions, feel free. Even if I don't write the policy, I love reviewing policies because I tell you, I see all kinds of nonsense written out there from agents. And I love the agents that says, I have 30 years experience. I don't care if you got 2 years experience, you got 30 years experience. You have no experience. Because I see it time and time again where it's written wrong. And it doesn't matter. I educate myself. I continue to educate myself because I think it's super important that an educated agent is an educated consumer. Again, Alexia Martin, Whitco Insurance. Thank you so much, Toby. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. One quick question. The handout that you have is excellent. Is there a way to get it to the folks that are out?
Yeah, I sent it over.
Yeah,
so thank you. So yeah, the handout is
lots of clapping online.
Is really great because it tells you your hurricane preparation down to 24 hours of the landfall, your emergency contacts, your building inventory, your vehicles, and everything else. So thank you again.
Thank you, Alexia.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that was fantastic. Thank you, Alexia, and thank you, Asana. And just so you know, Asana's handout is also in the chat for Zoom. And of course, we love technology. Right? So I will be emailing you my handout when I get to my home computer later tonight, because on my travel computer, Dropbox didn't feel like it wanted to upload and sync with what I did yesterday. So, yes. But I just want to take another couple minutes of our time, and I appreciate those who are still on the call. I think all of you are, and I appreciate that so much. I want to introduce to you Warren Balcom. He is the Director of Partnerships and Entrepreneurial Activities with the Lee County Economic Development Office. He's just going to share a couple minutes of wisdom and insights and resources with you as well. Feel free to clip that on if you want.
May or may not.
Yep.
I will take up a very short piece of your time. I am Warren Balcom with the Lee County Economic Development Office. Our department is activated during hurricanes, and so we do a lot of work helping the local business community prepare for hurricane season and working with them post-storm on things. A couple of things that I want to let you know about from our office. If you encounter a storm, hi Chase, we'll be reaching out to you. Toby will share my contact information when she sends you the update from her home computer and that type of thing. So we would be happy to get your contact information so we can connect with you should we encounter a storm again, which we won't this year.
Right.
And so some of the resources that we share about the emergency bridge loan program that the state shows or runs between the State Department of Commerce and the First Financial Capital thing. Our local Small Business Development Center at Florida Gulf Coast University is our strong partner on that. That will allow you to have pretty quick money come in to keep your business up and running until the federal and other insurance proceeds come in down the road from a storm. I can answer any questions. My contact information will be in that, so please give me a call. I can talk to you one-on-one or individually as you need and share more about what the county is doing for the business community in this type of a season. Okay.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm so glad that Warren was able to join us, so thank you. Oh, lots of hands clapping. Yes, all right. Woo-hoo. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to talk. So.
No. I put him on the spot the other night, and I was like, all I asked him to do is share it with anybody he might know. And he's like, well, if you don't mind, I'll bring some stuff. I was like, fantastic. And if you don't mind, how about you talk? And he's like, all right, great. So this is how it works. We're relationship building people. This is how it works, right? Okay, so the last person I want to bring up is our host here at Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. This is where we are right now, right on Martin Luther King. And I want to bring up Mama Deed Hudson, who is here. She is what I call the woman in charge. I don't want to say the woman large in charge because she ain't large, and women don't want to be called large. So the woman powerhouse woman who is in charge here is we call her Mommy. So Mommy, take the stage.
Being part of the enterprise.
Hello everyone for us in the room and in the chat. I am Mommy Dede Hudson. Say it with me. Mommy Dede. It's easy. Just don't look at it. I go by Mommy. I'm the program coordinator here at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. If you're not familiar with the Enterprise Center, this is a business owned and operated by the city of Fort Myers. This facility is an incubator program for small businesses and micro businesses and entrepreneurs. What we do here is support entrepreneurs, small businesses, and micro business build their foundation for their business. We do that a couple of ways. One of them is with our partnership with Goodwill and the Micro Enterprise Institute that gets taught here between 1 and 3 times a year. That builds your foundation for your business. We also have events like this once a month. We have different workshops in a variety of topics from marketing acquisition to advertisement, customer relationships, so on and so forth. And then we have technical support for anything that you need, whether it's grant writing, making sure that you have your EIN, making sure that you're fully registered with the state and the city, that you have proper foundation and identification for your business. We do it here. This location is placed to serve all of Southwest Florida. So any businesses in Southwest Florida, in any county, Lee, Charlotte, Collier, you are welcome to be here. This is your money. This is taxpayers' money. So come and utilize this place. For partners that want to be part either of the workshop rotation or just want to be able to see what we do here, please come and take a tour with me. I'll take you around. You can see some of the phenomenal businesses that we have. We have 14 offices inside, 28 industrial places outside. The biggest support that we do is below market rates. Our rates for inside offices are $3 a square footage. Outside is 75 cents per square footage.
Wow.
The idea is that as you're building your foundation at a certain point, when you're making a little bit more revenue, it's not going into rent, but it's going into continue building your business so when you transition out of the Enterprise Center. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here Monday to most Fridays, 8 to 4:30, and I'm not here during a hurricane. I am the first one to evacuate.
So before you walk away, I have a question. So you mentioned that this is open to anybody in the, let's say, the 5-county area, Henry Glades, right? But when they have their business here, they are technically registered. They're registering their business within the city of Fort Myers and the county. So they're going to need a double occupational license.
They don't. They
don't.
just have to be registered with Sunbiz.
Right.
They have to be registered with the state of Florida.
Oh, so they don't need an occupational
They don't.
business license with the county or the city to be here at all.
No.
Wow, that's
They
huge.
just- So
That
we
is
have
huge.
virtual thank you for that question,
Yes.
actually. We have virtual tenancies as well. So if you are a business that is trying to expand this way, but are not yet ready to put your monies into a rental space, you can have a virtual office here with this address, which will allow you to utilize this classroom, our conference room, to meet with clients until you are ready to physically transition to this area.
And transition usually happens, I believe, within 3 years you have traditionally?
Within 2 years is what
2
we're
years.
doing now.
Okay.
We're trying to, because again, this is a revolving door.
Yeah.
So it is on a yearly basis assessment, but we try to transition people, businesses within those 2 years. So our focus is to make sure that you are financially stable enough so that when you transition out of the enterprise center, you can be a successful business and give me a 10% discount.
Yeah, all right. I'll take that. This again is how we build relationships. 10% discount. Yes. All right. Awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Asana Gambine. I want to thank Alexia Martin, Warren Balcom, Mommy Hudson, and all of you guys for coming today. So Sandra Plazas, who helped be our timekeeper and photo, and Michelle, who's our bookkeeper here, who is a bookkeeper. She owns her own business, and everybody on the Zoom call. Thank you so much for your support, your love, and just that's it. So have a great day, and make sure that you are safe. And I'll be sending a follow-up email with all of the PowerPoint presentation and all of the handouts again to everybody, just in case you missed it on the Zoom chat. Take care.